The episode starts with Ruby gasping in awe as she steps off the airship. Before her is the towering sight of Beacon Academy. She hugs her luggage tightly as she looks around excitedly, squealing to herself under her breath. This is so cool! I'm really here! It's really happening! I'm at Beacon! I'm gonna become a huntress for real! Oh my goodness, does that kid have a collapsible staff? And that kid has a flame sword? I'm gonna see so many cool weapons! I wonder what my teammates' weapons will be! Ruby spins as she excitedly mutters to herself, and in her happy daze, she suddenly spins into a trolley holding several expensive-looking briefcases. Ruby goes tumbling to the ground along with the luggage, and she looks up to see a confused girl looking back down at her. The girl has pink and brown hair, and one pink and one brown eye. Ruby babbles incoherently as she scrambles back to her feet. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I was just so excited. I totally wasn't looking where I was going. The girl doesn't say anything. She just smiles and blinks. Ruby watches as her eyes change from pink and brown to match Ruby's silver eyes. Ruby continues to babble, trying to restack the girls' luggage onto the trolley. Whoa, your eyes change colors? Is that your semblance? My semblance lets me move really fast. Can I see what weapon you fight with? Oh, sorry, that's rude, isn't it? I don't even know your name yet. I'm Ruby Rose. Who are you? Ruby balances the last suitcase on top of an unsteady pile, then quickly holds out her hand to shake the girls'. As she grabs Ruby's hand and shakes, Ruby watches as her pink and brown hair suddenly changes, becoming the same black with red accents to match Ruby's own hair. Ruby stammers. Oh, that's crazy looking. It's like looking in a weird mirror. Hey, you still haven't told me your name yet? The girl takes her hand away, her hair and eyes changing back to pink and brown. I'm sorry, did I offend you? The girl smiles and winks at Ruby, but just turns and walks away. Ruby reaches back out towards her as she leaves. I am sorry about your luggage. Ruby hears quiet chuckling from students as they pass by her. Feeling suddenly embarrassed, she pulls up her hood and tries to hide her face away from the others around her until they all pass her by. Her shoulders slump and she sighs to herself. Welcome to Beacon. She starts to reach for her own luggage she had dropped in the commotion, but before she reaches it, someone else picks it up and hands it to her. Here, Ruby pulls her hood back and sees the person is the tall blonde boy from the airship. I'm Jean. Ruby. Jean looks her up and down. You're not hurt, are you? That tumble didn't look serious, but you can never be too careful. Oh, nothing more than a scratch. She looks down at a tiny scratch on her wrist. Before she can say anything, Jean hovers his hand over the scratch, and a soft white glow comes from his palm. Within seconds, the scratch is healed. Wow, was that your semblance? Ooh, can I see your weapon too? Jean chuckles and pulls out a short sword and a collapsible riot shield from behind him. I admit I'm not really a fighter. My focus is on healing, but nobody needs more medical help than the hunters in the middle of a mission, right? What about you? What do you got? Ruby excitedly pulls out Crescent Rose, the scythe unfolding and landing blade side into the concrete with a loud, impressive smash. Jean is clearly startled by the large weapon, but Ruby is too busy gushing about her scythe to notice. This is Crescent Rose. I designed it myself. It's also a customizable high-impact sniper rifle. What? It's also a gun. Oh, well that's cool. The two are quiet for a moment, looking around at the entrance of Beacon Academy. So, what are we supposed to be doing now? Jean pulls out a small, folded-up pamphlet, and he unravels it into a bigger and bigger brochure. The top of it reads, Orientation, Tips, and Tricks, with a cartoon of a bunny character. Well, let's see. In about an hour, we'll be taking an airship to the Emerald Forest to begin team building. Like, doing icebreakers and stuff? No, I think we'll be separated into our teams of 4. Oh, that makes more sense. Well, since we have some time to kill, I wanted to go offer up a prayer to my goddess. Want to come with me? It'll be really cool, I bet. Ruby looks not thrilled, but is hiding it behind a very wide, polite smile. She glances around, seeing that there's no one else around them, and shrugs. Well, I guess I have nothing better to do. Great! The pamphlet says it's this way. Ruby sighs and follows Jean towards the entrance to the school. Weiss steps out of a luxurious limousine and smiles. Atlas Academy stretches out in front of her. She takes several steps towards the entrance, taking in the sight of it all. She turns back to the 2 butlers who accompanied her, now taking her many suitcases out of the trunk of the limo. Make sure to be careful with that. That's the finest dust my company offers, and I don't want anyone else to come near that luggage. Got it? The 2 deliver prompt, yes, Miss Schneeze, as a response, and she turns back to the school, quickly striding to the front gate. Looking around, she can tell the majority of the students have have already arrived. She enters the front doors and quickly makes her way down several hallways, past a receptionist desk who doesn't try to stop her, until she's back in front of Ironwood's office. She smooths out her skirt and squares her shoulders, knocking 3 times on the door, quickly but firmly. She waits for a second as she hears shuffling from the other side of the door. Finally, it opens and Ironwood cocks his head to the side, confused. Miss Schnee, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be mingling with the other students before team assignment? Hello, General Ironwood. I wanted to give you my regards, now that the school year has officially started, and to tell you just how grateful I am that you've seen the potential of what I have to offer for this school. Of course, Miss Schnee. Now, why don't you— And of course, I wanted to remind you of all the great things the Schnee family has done for you and the school. We've graciously donated several tons of dust worth and thousands of gold for the school for its own resources, as well as helped design and fund the construction of the state-of-the-art training center and holograms the school is now equipped with. Ironwood shuffles and starts to close his office door. Yes, and I am very grateful of that, Miss Schnee. Weiss places her hand on his door, holding it open. And of course, my father is currently running for a seat on the council, and if he got that position, we could offer even more benefits for the school that would prove invaluable. Well, I am already on the council myself, so I don't think that would really— And you wouldn't have gotten that position without the Schnee's help funding your campaign. Weiss freezes as Ironwood's face drops from polite to clearly offended. She takes her hand off his door, holding her hand behind her back. I just wanted to make sure you knew that there are many benefits to choosing to align yourself with the Schnee name. General Ironwood, sir. Why don't you go mingle with the other students, Weiss? He closes the door, and Weiss lingers in front of it for a second before spinning on her heels and briskly retracing her path from before. Her hands ball into fists, and she talks quickly and quietly under her breath. What is wrong with you, Weiss? Why did you say that? I should have known that stupid tin soldier's pride would be easily bruised. Stupid, stupid, stupid! Before she walks back into the public courtyard, she pats her cheeks and forces her pleasant smile back onto her face. Blake and Sun walk across a balcony in the Beacon School. Lots of vines were draped over from the roof overhead. Sun jumps onto the ledge of the railing and sits on it, letting one foot hang off the edge. This place is so boring. Why isn't there a faunus-only school in, like, menagerie or something? Blake leans over the rail next to Sun, holding her head in one of her hands. Because humans hog all the resources and make it near impossible for new schools to be built. Voices from below can be heard, and Blake looks down to the ground floor where Ruby and John were walking past them. I worship Lady Sarah, the goddess of health and healing. They used to say she had unlocked the secrets of immortality. Wow, so she just, like, healed herself into living forever? You know, I'm not sure. Blake and Sun watch as the two walk past them and out of sight. Sun turns to Blake. I thought the school was dangerous. What's that kid doing here? I don't know. Maybe she's just dropping off an older sibling or something. I hope she leaves soon. Kids annoy me. So, Sienna said we'd be meeting up with 2 of this Torchwick guy's associates, right? Where are they? Blake pulls out her scroll, and we watch her open one of her messages. The most recent one comes from an unknown number and reads, "We will meet you in the forest." No word other than the forest yet. Sun groans and rubs his face. This is so dumb. We were already in an airship. Why drop us off at the school just to shuttle us off in a totally different airship to get somewhere else? I don't know. This school is a mess. I can't believe this place might actually be holding some powerful artifact or whatever. Young man! A sudden voice catches their attention, and they look down to the ground level again. Glinda is pointing her riding crop at Sun. Get off that rail this instant! This is a school, not a jungle gym! Sun scoffs, and he and Blake laugh and shake their heads, before he pulls himself back over the rail and stands next to Blake. Sorry, ma'am. Glinda huffs angrily and storms off, while Blake and Sun hide their laughter. We cut to Ruby and John, standing in a room filled with various statues as Jean kneels in front of one of them, depicting a young woman with long hair holding flowers on both hands. The flowers in one hand are wilted and dying, and in the other hand they're in full bloom. There are 2 men who seem to be taking care of the statues around them, sweeping up ash piles from candle offerings, or dusting off the statues so they stay pristine. They look the same, likely twins or brothers, except one has a gray foxtail and other has large fox ears. Lady Sarah shrines are pretty easy to find, but I also brought my own personal mini statuette of her just in case. Wow, that's dedication? Thank you. You know, my sisters all said the same thing. Oh, Ruby, there you are. Oscar, who had been walking past, stops and runs into the room. Jean stands up as Oscar approaches them. Hi, Oscar. This is Jean. He was telling me about, Gods and stuff. Jean shakes Oscar's hand. Nice to meet ya. Oscar nods to him and then turns to Ruby. Oh, it's been a crazy day. Osmond had me helping with so much, but I was hoping I'd get to run into you before we head into the Emerald Forest. I really hope we can be on a team together. Me too. It would be so cool to be on a team with someone my own age. Wait, how old are you two? Oscar and Ruby both answer at the same time. 15. Jean looks suddenly overwhelmed and turns around and falls to his knees in prayer. Lady Sarah, please give me the ability to protect these two children. He continues on for a bit, and Ruby turns back to Oscar. You never did show me your weapon. Oh, I left it at Ozpin's office, but it's nothing special. It's just a cane that's kinda like a bat. Well, how about this? Promise we'll be teammates, and then you can tell me all about it. Oscar smiles and shakes her hand. Deal. Yang tosses a lifeless body of a dead Ursa with a heavy sigh. She looks around. There's piles of dead Grimm, all their bodies slowly fading away into black dust. Nora and Mercury are with her, also finishing off their own kills and looking around. Okay, I'm telling you, there's definitely more of these things now. This is the 7th attack this week. I wanted to just ignore you, but I'm starting to think you're right. Why do you want to ignore me? Because it's funny when you get all pissy? Mercury's face gets red and he babbles in frustration, while Yang just laughs and sticks her tongue out at him. Nora kicks one of the dead Ursa. Well, what are we supposed to do about it? We're wasting an awful lot of bullets and energy on these things. Yang sighs and crosses her arms, looking around at the billowing black cloud coming from all the Ursa. She turns and looks back a few ways towards the entrance of their camp, watching as others inside are shooting away at several small Nevermore flying overhead. We cut to the inside of Raven's tent, where Raven is holding a blue, glowing lamp. She stares into the swirling blue, magical color emanating from it. Mom? Yang's voice pulls Raven back to reality, and she quickly tucks the lamp under her bed, though the blue light emanating from it still floods the room. Come in, Yang. Yang enters the tent and glances at the blue light coming from under the bed. Mercury and Nora right behind her. I take it all the Ursa are gone? Yes, Mom, but... well, we've been thinking about something. Raven raises an eyebrow and crosses her arms. Well, ever since Vernal brought that into camp, Yang points to the blue light behind her mother, the Grimm have been attacking a lot more frequently. We think it might be attracting them. Well, surely it's nothing strong warriors like you three can't handle. Raven turns away as she speaks, grabbing a sturdy metal teapot from the corner of the room. Mom, it's not that, and you know it. What does that thing even do? Have you figured anything out yet? Raven sighs as she pulls out several tin cups from within a trunk. No, Yang, we don't know what it does yet. Well, do we really need it? If we don't even know what it does, and it seems like it's making the Grimm come more often, isn't it more trouble than it's worth? No. Her response is quick and sharp. Nora squeaks in surprise, grabbing hold of Yang's hair and hiding her face behind it. Raven hands each of the three a cup and pours tea for them. No, Nora. This relic is worth a great deal to us, even if we don't know how to properly use it just yet. But since you three seem so keen on figuring it out, I actually have an important mission for you. They all nod and wait for Raven to place the kettle back down. Vernal got this item from within the office of the headmaster of the Huntsman Academy in Mistral. Leo Lionheart is his name, and as far as we know, he hasn't realized it's gone yet. He might have some information about how to make this relic work. I believe it takes a specific word or phrase to activate. I want you to sneak in and see if you can find anything useful. Of course, Mom, we won't let you down, I promise. Me, Merc, and Nora, you know we can handle this. Not quite. There's someone else I want you to go with. Raven nods to someone standing behind Yang, and when Yang turns, she's face to face with Vernal. Yes, ma'am. Of course I'll go on this mission. Yang's eyes go red, but she starts blinking rapidly to make them go back to normal purple. Why does she have to come? Shouldn't she be staying here? Didn't you want her to have these powers to protect the tribe? Raven raises a hand to stop Yang from speaking further. Yang stares down into the cup of tea she's holding. Vernal snuck into Lionheart's office once. She'll know the best way to do it again. Now I expect you four to work as a team. Do you understand? Yang turns back to Vernal, and the two girls stare each other down. You all will be forming teams of 4. Ozpin spoke in front of the students who are all lined up single file. They're all on the edge of a cliff that leads to the edge of a large, dense forest known as the Emerald Forest. Ruby looked down. She was standing on a stone plate that she knew was designed to launch her into the sky. Next to Ozpin was Glinda Goodwitch, who was scrolling through information on her tablet. Ruby looks down the rest of the line of students. She had tried to find Oscar, but he was too far away for her to see properly. Directly on her left was Jean, though, who was fidgeting nervously. nervously. The Emerald Forest is meant to test your skills as hunters. Your mission will be to get to the Forest Temple, grab one of the relics you find there, and bring it back here. But be warned that there are in fact the creatures of Grimm in this forest. It is important for you to learn to work together with your teammates, because once you've formed your teams of 4, you will be partnered with them for the rest of your time here in Beacon. On your way to the forest, you will be formed into teams of 2 for now. Your partner will be the first person you make eye contact with once you land in the forest. That makes no sense! Ruby looks to her right, where Blake was standing. The Faunus girl rubbed her eyes frustratedly. That's such a dumb way to form a team with someone. Ruby nervously looked back towards Ozpin. Now then, I hope you've all practiced your landing strategy, and get ready to take off. Down the line, students got in various readied poses for their launch. Ruby could hear the first few students' pedestals activating beneath them, sending the students flying into the air. Ruby adopted a wide stance with one hand ready to grab onto Crescent Rose. Jean, to her side, however, nervously raised a hand. Mr. Ozpin, sir, this seems awfully dangerous. What if someone gets hurt? Well then, they're probably not going to pass orientation, and will be kicked out of the school. Ruby looks back down the line and watches as Blake is thrown into the sky. She was next. Ruby takes a deep breath and smiles at Jean. Hey, don't worry about it, Jean. I bet everything is going to be fine. Before she could finish her sentence, Ruby was suddenly launched into the air. Wind whips Ruby's cape behind her as she flies towards the Emerald Forest. She grabs hold of Crescent Rose and unfolds the gun attachment for it, and fires the first few rounds into the air to slow her descent. She then turns as the blade unfolds fully out, and she angles her body to have the scythe hook onto the branch of a tree. She swings off of that branch and uses the rest of her momentum to land safely on the ground. Crescent Rose folds back, and Ruby looks quickly around her. Her internal thoughts can be heard as Ruby starts running through the forest. Gotta find Oscar. I gotta find Oscar. We're the same age. He's fun. I want to be on a team with Oscar. Well, there's always Jean. He seems nice. And funny. But he also seems like a big ol' worrywart, though. And I definitely don't think I want to be on a team with that Faunus girl. She had a real lousy attitude. Okay, gotta focus. Who else might end up as my teammate? There's Oscar, Jean, that Faunus girl, and... Ruby suddenly sees someone come into her line of sight. She digs her heels in to slow her momentum and skids to a stop, looking up to make direct eye contact with the girl with pink and brown hair. Shout out to my $10 patrons. You're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Noah Perkins, Sunny Shy, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Hype Man, Isaiah, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Messiah Complex, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, The Watcher, Omega Fighter, Trash, Wild Pilot, Josh, Gino, Twisty, Juan, Bunkin Duncan, Alpha 99, Hoodie Angel, Jesper, and Hut Mutt Butt. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you had fun. I had a lot of fun. Episode 2, it's happening. Are you excited about any of these plot beats? Which one are you most excited for? I am having so much fun. I hope you are too. Let me know what you think about the episode and about your thoughts and theories about how the story is going to be going from here. I'm so excited to see what you all have to say. I hope you have fun with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.